Up to this point, you've seen models that have already been created, explored the elements and parameters in them, and in some cases fixed parameters that were causing a problem in the model. Now you'll get a chance to see a model built from scratch and the steps involved in adding tools and data into a continuous analysis or geoprocessing workflow. All models should start with a scenario. In this utility example, you want to determine gas leak detection areas around schools in Fort Pierce, Florida. For the sake of time in the demo, assume we've already determined the data and tools, as this is good practice when creating any model. The first thing we'll do here in the catalog window is we'll set Fort Pierce Geodatabase as the default geodatabase to ensure all outputs get stored within it. Then we'll create a new toolbox. A new toolbox is the starting point for creating a new model. Without a toolbox that's custom, you cannot have a model. Once we get that in there, we'll right-click it and choose New Model, and now an empty model shows up. And once the model has been created, you can assign some simple properties within the Model Properties dialog box. We'll give the model a name. We'll call it Gas Leak. We'll call the label Gas Leak with a space in it, and then we'll choose to store relative paths in case we're sharing the model. Next, we'll use the search window to add the tools that have already been determined are going to help us solve this problem, and the first one is the Make Feature Layer tool. So we'll search for that, and we'll drag it over into the model canvas. Notice the derived data element comes with the tool. We'll go ahead and open the dialog box for Make Feature Layer, and for input features, we'll choose Parcels. We'll change the output layer name to Schools Layer, and then we're going to set an expression with a SQL button, and we're going to select out, using the business name field, parcels that have the word schools within that business name field, and we're going to do that using the like operator, and a wildcard combination around the word school using the percent signs. So that'll find any instance of the word school within that field. We'll verify the expression, and we'll click OK on this tool. Once we do that, go to the full extent, you can see now Parcels is added as the blue input data element into the Make Feature Layer tool. The next thing we'll do is search for the Select Layer by Location tool. This will help us locate gas mains within 500 feet of all schools. We'll add that into the model, and we'll connect the schools layer to it as the selecting features and open the dialog box. For input feature layer, we'll choose GMain, or gas mains. For the relationship, we'll choose within a distance, and for the search distance, 500 feet, and click OK. We'll auto layout the model, go to the full extent, and you can see now we've put two processes together within this model. We'll add one more in. We'll search for the buffer tool and drag that into the model, and we'll connect the GMain to the buffer as the input features and open the dialog box. The output's going where we want, and we'll choose a buffer distance of 50 feet. This will buffer the gas lines that are within 500 feet of the school by 50 feet, which will help us determine the gas leak detection areas. So we have three processes together. The remaining tools involved in the model are added in the setup in the same way we just saw. In the interest of time, I'll show the completed model and the results of it. We'll save this model, and we'll open the completed model that you saw in the very first exercise. Notice the elements have a shadow indicating they've already been run, so we'll validate this to remove the shadow, get it into a ready-to-run state, and look at the part of the model that we did not work on. So we didn't add in the additional buffer tool, the intersect tool to overlay those buffers, and the dissolve tool to get rid of any boundaries. We'll run the entire model, and you can see the model step through the processes. Each process will turn red as it runs, and the progress dialog box shows a green bar of a status report. It tells us how far along we are. We'll click Close, we'll save this model, and we'll take a look in ArcMap at the results. Notice the schools here that were selected out with the query in the business name field. And then if we turn on the gas leak areas, these are the areas that were located with the select layer by location and then buffered. These are the areas around the schools we want to focus on. With a simple model, we chain together several geoprocessing tools in order to help determine areas around schools that should be monitored for gas leaks.